Welcome back everyone, I'm Zell, and today we're taking apart the Rat 1, this D2 Steel Edition I got, and we're going to give her a new set of handles. Alright guys, for this operation we need, of course, our Rat 1, our replacement scales, which in this case are these Brazilian Rosewood scales, and we're going to need a T6 Torx driver and a T10 Torx driver. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is flip this guy over and get the pocket clip off of it with the T6. And this is a good time if you have one of these little magnetic cups. I picked this one up at Harbor Freight for like $2, but if you have one of these, it's a good time to get it out because sticking your parts in this will keep you from losing stuff because, well, it's magnetic. Now from there, we want to open the knife, and since we're going to have this knife open and tearing into it, I'm going to run a piece of tape down the edge. That's just to keep me from cutting myself. Now that we've got the edge tape, we want to leave the knife open. We have this lock bar in here, and if we try to take the knife apart with the spring tension against the blade instead of against the tang of the knife, it'll try to pop apart like you see those people in the cartoons when they try to take apart a wind-up clock. So, knife open, blade taped up so we don't cut ourselves, and T10 for the pivot, and we do this one side at a time on a rat because we have a pivot screw here and we have a pivot screw here, and because of that we can do it one side at a time. We don't have to take the knife entirely apart. So take the pivot out and then take all of our body screws out. Alright, now that we have all of our body screws out, we're going to lift the nylon scale off of there, set it aside, find the proper rosewood scale, set it down on there, and reverse the process. I generally put the pivot screw in first and then all of the body screws. Alright, now that we've got this side done, we flip her over, and through a little bit of movie magic, we'll take care of this side. And there we go. We have our scales on both sides. Need to stick our pocket clip back on here for tip up right hand, and we will be done. Alright, there we go. Now we can take our blade tape off, because the one thing we are going to need to do is check our action and blade centering, because of course we've had everything apart and you just have to do that. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. In fact, whenever I look at it again, I think it may be better than what it looked like on the camera. So we're going to go with that. We'll see how, well, I'm going to check the pivot anyhow, even though it worked well. That side is snug. That side is snug. And a little too snug. And here's where, on the Ontario rats, you can radically change your blade centering almost too easily. Because since you have a pivot screw on each side, that means you got a sleeve in there that works its way back and forth. And sometimes the position of that sleeve will affect the position of the blade and the handle. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. So if you have one that's just a little off center and you're like, what the heck, you can loosen up a screw on one side and tighten the other side and see if that makes any difference. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But anyhow, that's not what you guys came for. You guys came to see these scales. So there you go. The Brazilian Rosewood scales on your Ontario Rat Model 1. Stick around for a minute and I'll tell you where I got them. Well guys, that wasn't all that hard, and now we have one good looking Rat Model 1. The eBay seller I bought these from was T-Mill 2009, and the brand name was Tommy the Who. Tropical Brazilian Rosewood Scales. And as you can see, they fit real nice. I did have to do just a wee bit of reaming whenever I installed them. The backside of the holes needed to be enlarged just slightly. But other than that, perfect. And they have taken a knife that had kind of a cheap look, even though it was a really great knife, and turned it into something beautiful. Anyhow guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I really do appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.